Hey guys, Eric here. I want to talk to you today about something really serious and really gross, okay? And also a powerful method that you can use to protect yourself against things like staph and ringworm, okay? Now, staph and ringworm are both really prevalent in areas like gyms, specifically wrestling gyms, jiu-jitsu gyms, also fitness gyms, anywhere where you're going to have somebody sweating on the equipment and then somebody else comes along and your skin is exposed to it, anywhere where your pores can be open from a lot of work, being hot and sweaty, and then making contact with the outside world. If you're just jogging, you're not touching anything. But if you're making contact with stuff, even in football with the gear and things like that, then things like the fungus of ringworm and the disease of staph can be passed from one person to another. Now, some basic tips. I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to give you a secret weapon to use. Now, you can trim your nails. We highly recommend you trim your nails, so that way if you have any kind of contact sports, you're not scratching and opening the skin and making yourself at risk more for certain things like this. It's for yourself and for the people that you may have contact sports with. Rugby, football, anything like that. Even soccer, you bump into each other. You don't want to get scratched. It's really gross. Girls can deal with that. Guys, cut your nails. Number two, you can wear something that we call a rash guard. This is one of those maybe Under Armour brand shirts. It doesn't have to be the brand name Under Armour, but people are more familiar with this. It's a very tight, stretchy undershirt. Let's see if I can pull up a picture for you. You can use short or long sleeve rash guard shirts and long rash guard pants. This is used to protect your skin while it's sweating, so that way it's not making contact with a lot of other stuff while the pores are open and susceptible to receiving staph or getting any kind of an infection like that. It covers your skin. It's very helpful in cutting down on that stuff. But the key is you have to wash it. So you can wear a rash guard. It's typically to protect yourself from getting rug burn, mat burn, turf burn, field burn, grass burn, any of those things. It protects your skins from getting rubs and getting burns. So those are two things you can do. Another thing that you can do is wash your gear immediately. If you have pads that you wear, if you have knee pads, shin pads, boxing gloves, if you have hand wraps, if you have any kind of gi or kimono that you have to wear on a regular basis, wash your gear right away. Don't let it sit and let it dry and then use it a few times. You want to get home and you want to wash it right away. The fifth thing that you can do is you can wash yourself right away. This is really important. Guys, we don't care. We'll walk around stinky. We'll go work out. Then we'll go get a smoothie. Then we'll go do this and do that. We're gross. Guys are gross. We don't care about that. Girls are pretty good about staying clean, really good personal hygiene, because they can't walk around stinky. Nobody likes it. Girls don't like it, and guys don't like it. So girls can't get away with that. But wash yourselves. Take a note. Take a lesson from the girls. And have good hygiene. So right after you finish working out and you're all gross and sweaty, especially if it's contact sport, go wash off right away. Now, let me explain to you what staph and what ringworm is. Ringworm is a fungus, okay? Now, it's the same type of disease that you will have for if you have scalp dandruff, certain types of scalp dandruff, ringworm on the skin or the body, or you'll have jock itch, or you'll have athlete's foot. These are all along the similar line of the same fungus, just a few different strains that are prevalent, and they expose themselves on different parts of the body. It'll start out like a pimple, but it'll really itch. It'll look just like irritated skin and a little bump. And what happens is that bump will start to expand into a ring of little bumps, and the center will start to become pale. If you let it go, it goes from a pimple size out to maybe the size of a quarter. And if it's bigger than that, then it's really bad, guys. The outer ring that starts to look like a ring of bumps, which is why they call it ringworm. It's not actually a worm, guys. That's going to start getting really dry and scaly. If you're already to that stage, then you need to take a break of whatever you're doing. Ringworm loves moisture, and it loves to be scratched. So you need to get something. If it's already to that stage, don't cover it up and go keep training. Because if you're making contact with other people, even if you're covering it up, then you're possibly passing it along. You're leaving it on the mats, you're leaving it on equipment, you're leaving it on pads, and you're rubbing it on other people, and that's gross. So be a good partner, be a good training partner, be considerate about other people, and just stay out for a while and put something like an antifungal cream like Lamisil or something like that 3-4 times a day. There's multiple creams. Go check out your pharmacy and they can help you out. Staph infection, Staphylococcus aureus. There's also a Mercer strain, which is a hospital strain of staph. That starts as a bump, and it's actually just like a pimple as well. But this one's not itchy. This one's just painful. The skin becomes very tough, and it hurts when you poke it, and you'll feel that it's much harder than the surrounding skin. Now, one of the ways to help determine if this is staph or not, outside of that, it's going to be a pimple that's not in a normal area of your body. Okay, it may be on your neck where you may never get a hard or a painful pimple. It may be on a leg, something like that. And what I recommend doing is taking an ink pen and drawing a circle around the red irritation. So you'll have the pimple, the bump, and then you'll have a little ring of pink or irritated skin, and then outside from that you have normal skin. If you draw a circle with an ink pen around where the irritation is, and then the next day take a look at it, if that irritation is growing very quickly, rapidly, and it's outgrown that circle, then you may consider going to a doctor immediately, so that way you can get some medication for staph if that's what they determine it is. It's very likely that that's what it is. In my experience and in other wrestling gyms, what they've experienced, that's one of the methods that we use to determine if it's got a fast rate of growth. Then it's not a normal pimple. It's not a normal bump that just hurts. In this case, you also want to stay off the mats and get medical attention. Now, the secret weapon for preventing this stuff, you guys are going to laugh. You guys use some kind of dandruff shampoo. It can be Head & Shoulders, it can be Selsun Blue, it can be whatever brand you want. It can be the knockoff brand, it really doesn't matter. But there are 2 ingredients that are really helpful, and one, from what I've seen and what I've heard, more than others. There's selenium sulfide, which is your first set of defense, and then there's pyrithione zinc. Okay, something with a high content, 1% or greater of pyrithione zinc in these dandruff shampoos you can put on your skin. It's an antibiotic. It's also an antibacterial. You put it on, you leave it for 2 to 5 minutes, and I recommend doing this maybe twice a week. This is a preventative. If you're exposed in those situations all the time, football, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, things like that, then I recommend doing this a few times a week as a preventative. You can use something like a tea tree oil as well. That's very popular because the tea tree oil is an antibiotic, antibacterial. It's also an antiseptic and an antiviral. So that's got you 4 bangs for your buck. These items will help to prevent the Staphylococcus as well as the Streptococcus. Streptococcus and Staphylococcus. And it's also antifungal. It helps against the ringworm stuff. I actually learned this from a doctor who is an acupuncturist and spent over 30 years in Asia. And he said, yeah, these chemicals, just wash with dandruff shampoo, will lather up your body, leave it for 2 to 5 minutes. And that's one of the best preventatives that I've ever seen. So since I started doing that, I had staph, I had ringworm, I had been exposed to those things. Some people are more susceptible than others, multiple times. And since I started doing that as a preventative measure, I have not experienced again. I have not had it again. So I highly recommend it. And let me know your results down below. Now, do it a few times a week. If you experience that you get dry skin because some of this dandruff shampoo on your skin, if you leave it on for a while, you can have a drier skin after a shower. Just use lotion or use baby oil, something to trap that moisture in the day that you use the dandruff shampoo. So check it out. The evidence is there on Know It All Google. Okay, it is medically backed. So use dandruff shampoo to prevent staph and ringworm if you're in a lot of those contact sports. So hopefully this is helpful, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share the video with anybody that you think might be that guy that's not gonna wash up right away, and at least he can take some additional preventative measures. Leave comments, suggestions down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Eric out.